Hello, everybody. This is Chris Pflueger again, your managing director here at IAD Florida, coming to you live from Orlando, our headquarters office here in the United States. And it's always my pleasure to invite different guests on our show. But today we have someone who has been with the IAD model for a very long time, started up IAD in Italy, is our managing director, my counterpart, Manuel Pasqua. So, Manuel, how are you?
Hello, Chris. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well. We're very excited about the growth here in Florida, but as part of that, we always like to talk to the counterparts in other countries. So we're in 8 countries. We have about 20,000 agents, globally, and we have a lot of interaction with agents from other countries wanting to develop their teams in the state of Florida, but also we have a lot of transactions going on between different countries. And so it's always my pleasure to talk to different folks and find out about how real estate works, how IAD works, and how exciting it is in those areas. And so it is absolutely my pleasure to talk to you today. What I know, because I visited, was
Yes.
our headquarters is in Milan, and
Yes.
absolutely one of the most beautiful cities in Italy. And so that's where our headquarters is there. Tell us a little bit about IAD in Italy and your starting up there and what you feel about it.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. I would have preferred being in Florida with you right now. Maybe next time we can do it live, face to face. But it's great, and we're all really excited about IAD putting the first flag in the US, and we're all convinced it can be the beginning of something really, really big. So it's exciting times at IAD. As far as Italy is concerned, so I went through probably what you are going through now about 5-6 years ago. We started in 2018, so that was the creation of the company. And a bit like you, we had on one side the knowledge that it was a formidable and powerful and revolutionary model, but essentially a blank piece of paper on how to adapt that model to the local market, right? And that's kind of the beauty of IAD as well, that it's so powerful that I think it goes beyond boundaries. And even if each market obviously has a peculiarity, whether it's the access to the profession, the barriers to entry, whether it's the way buyers and sellers pay the commissions, whatever it may be, well, the model is actually so powerful that it can apply and become the game changer in each market, in my mind. And that's exactly what happened in Italy. Before we arrived, Italy was a market that was dominated entirely by either the traditional franchising model. So we had some big Italian brands and all the big international brands. So when IAD arrived with its kind of unique umbrella organization where independent agents are able to operate autonomously, but at the same time be interlinked via the network and via extremely high revenue split that is direct as well as indirect revenues. Well, that was something that was never heard of. Also, we digitalized the entire process. So we had to bring a kind of a mentality change. And this took a little bit of time. Like I'm sure it's taking a little bit of time in the US, and people need to understand it, people need to embrace it. But once they do, what we found is that they realize that it's more powerful, it's more cost effective for the agent. And so it takes time. And now we are 5-6 years down the line. And what I can say is that it's been an incredible experience. We are now running at around 600 agents because of one of the reasons I mentioned before, right? There's high barriers to entry to this industry. So you need to be a qualified, licensed professional, and that's quite a complex process to achieve. But when you get it, you tend to be highly productive. So we have a very high productivity per head versus, let's say, the average within IAD is to become one of the market leaders. It's going to take a few more years, no doubt, But that's the objective, and I have no doubt we'll get there eventually.
Well, you mentioned a few things, and I want to make sure everyone on the American side knows when you hear 600 agents, in a country that does have licensing, which is similar to the U.S., licensing in the U.S. is happening on a daily basis across a multitude of different real estate schools, and thousands of agents are going through in the state of Florida as we speak right now, right? But the state licensing has an exam multiple times during the week. In Italy, it doesn't happen quite like that. There's only so many slots. It's very few people can do it, and you have to have a license in order to practice. So with the limited amount of opportunity to bring new people in, it keeps a very small group of people to bring across. And so that is critical to understand when you talk about agency size. So as we talked about, even in England, right? If you had 400 agents in England, you would be the second largest office in all of England, right? So the sizes of offices are very different in other parts of the world than they are in the United States. So just as a clarification, and you said some really, really great things in there. So it's not only a powerful model, right, but also the international component of it, building an international team and organization with no cost, as well as really faster growth within your real estate because you have more control, right? So that's the next question, right? What is specifically attracting them? Would you say?
Well, there's an interesting expression that you mentioned that I would add is you mentioned the broker versus agent relationship. We use often the expression here in Italy that IAD is essentially multiplying the broker, i.e. every single agent has the same opportunity today as the broker had in the previous traditional model, i.e. it has the advantage of not only concentrating on its personal production and its personal revenue with what I would say is today probably the highest or amongst the highest revenue splits in the market. We allow our top producers to take home the vast majority of what they produce. We try to provide our promise, and my personal promise to our network in Italy is to give the best possible tools. So of course we have a big team in Paris and in Milan and all over the world that is helping us get those tools up and running, proprietary tools. If we find better tools in the market, we often integrate them, but the promise is to be the best provider of services, whether it's digital tools or customer care via a full A to Z admin support, legal support, training support, and also in many ways marketing and lead generation support. So we really give all the resources necessary for an agent to succeed. We are now seeing a lot of the top producers from other brands coming over, which is what you mentioned, the possibility to create a team. And it's not limited just to a few people. It's not limited just to the brokers, like in their own models. It's open to everybody. And in my mind, this allows the best talents to emerge. That's essentially the best quality of IAD, is that anybody can emerge, and it's the talented individuals, like in any company, like in any society, that eventually come through.
So that's what I think, it takes a minute for people to really absorb, because it's almost too good to be true, right? When you look at some of these things and saying, hey, listen, some of the money, if I had a 70-30 split or an 80-20 split, all of it went to the broker, and the broker had to decide what to do with it. Most of the time, he spent the money on space, which nobody wants anymore, right? There's in the last, 5-10 years, pre-COVID, post-COVID, it doesn't matter. People just weren't hanging out the office waiting for people to walk in the door. You're out and about, you're meeting people, you're getting your listings, you're meeting at people's homes, you're doing taking buyers to show homes. It just doesn't happen at the office anymore. And the technology is advanced to the point where it doesn't ever need to. So I tell you what, I do appreciate you joining us today and telling us a lot about kind of what's going on in Italy. And I'm sure we'll talk again, hopefully live. We'll do this together side by side.
For sure.
But if anybody wants to find out more about Italy, you can go right there to join-iad.it. You can go to joiniad.com to find out about how we're growing here in the United States as well. We have a multitude of sites in the States, but we're excited about working within that global one community and really showing how real estate can be done the right way globally. So,
and sure, Chris, I'm sure that soon we should be able to celebrate the first Italian-American cross sponsorship, right? We got a couple of leads going on from Italian agents with their contacts in Miami and vice versa. And it's just a matter of time. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
It is. We have a few from France. We have a few from Spain working right now. We definitely have an entire contingent from Mexico coming over and working on this as well. So we're very excited about the opportunity, and we will celebrate that indeed. So thank you very much for joining me today and sharing all this great information about IED in Italy. So have a great day.
Thank you very much. See you soon.
Will do. Thank you.